The 70's. An era built on the idea of moving forward and becoming something new.
Something better.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. Can say again, please. Houston, we've had a problem.
NASA's first space shuttle orbiter, the Enterprise, never made it to space. It was built in 1976 in New York City with no engine and with no heat shielding, but its contribution to space shuttle program and to humanity will never be forgotten. Since it was created as a test vehicle, there were many materials used in the Enterprise that made it impossible to reach the Earth's atmosphere. The Air Force and NASA used the Enterprise to research a new method of flying winged vehicles to increase landing success rates. Originally, NASA planned to roll out the shuttle on September 17, 1976, which happened to be Constitution Day, and thus the shuttle was to be named Constitution. However, Star Trek fans were not pleased with this announcement and urged the White House to name the shuttle after a spaceship that James T. Kirk captained in Star Trek. Apparently, it has been said that the president then, Gerald Ford, got tens and thousands of letters and eventually changed the shuttle's name to Enterprise. Although NASA's space shuttle never left Earth's atmosphere, it made major contributions to the space shuttle program and enormously beneficial in helping humanity transition into a new era of space exploration technology.
The accident began at approximately 4 a.m. on the morning of March 28, 1979. The plant experienced a failure in the secondary, non-nuclear section of the plant. Although TMI-2 suffered a severe core meltdown, the most dangerous kind of nuclear power accident, consequences outside the plant were minimal, unlike the Chernobyl and Fukushima accidents. TM2's containment building remained intact and held almost all of the accident's radioactive material. The 3 Mile Island reactor meltdown on March 28, 1979 was the most serious accident in U.S. commercial nuclear power plant operating history. Although its small radioactive releases had no detectable health effects on plant workers or the public, its aftermath brought about sweeping changes involving emergency response planning, reactor operator training, human factors engineering, radiation protection, and many other areas of nuclear power plant operations. All of these changes significantly enhanced U.S. reactor safety.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
In the 70s, there was a huge equal rights movement, which was mainly led by women. The equal rights movement was the proposed amendment to the Constitution that strove to provide equal rights to all American citizens, no matter their sex. Even though the amendment was proposed in the 1970s, it was written much earlier. Any guesses when? The amendment was written in 1923 by Alice Paul, a woman suffragist. After the 19th Amendment had passed, guaranteeing women the right to vote, Alice believed the next step was to obtain equal rights for everyone. In 1970, Martha Griffiths proposed the ERA to the House of Representatives. The House accepted the ERA, which therefore led to it coming down to the states. The Constitution states that at least 3/4 of the states' votes are needed to pass a law. That is equivalent to 38 states. By 1978, the ERA had failed to obtain enough state ratifications, and Congress decided to extend the deadline to June 30, 1982. Even after the extensions, only 35 states had voted to ratify the ERA. Even though the Equal Rights Amendment failed to become ratified, it was a successful in changing society. Many women have chosen to pursue college degrees and careers, moving away from now outdated traditional roles. Two-career families became more common than in prior decades. The Equal Rights Amendment changed social attitudes toward women. This social acceptance of strong women has carried on into the 21st century, always moving forward.
Now here on the top left corner of the store we have a TV reporting on the death of Elvis Presley. He died on August 16, 1977, in his mansion in Memphis, Tennessee, at around 2 p.m. He was found an hour later on the bathroom floor, face down in front of the toilet, from a sitting position. There was no sign of foul play, and the police didn't think it was a suicide, so there was no investigation. Elvis was quickly rushed to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. In that same afternoon, he was shipped to the morgue and autopsied. His death was ruled a natural event, even though his autopsy showed that his body contained lots of different prescription drugs, including codeine, which was 10 times the therapeutic amount. The 42-year-old suffered from pneumonia, hepatitis, and an enlarged colon for a while, and developed a dependence on painkillers. His death was devastating to the American people, but it also brought public awareness to drug abuse.
Our mural consists of a simple yet informational message about the 1970s. The events covered are the women's rights movement, the enterprise, Elvis Presley's death, and the 3 Mile Island nuclear accident. As you can see, there are 4 1970s TVs presented, and next to the shop is a pastel yellow with protesters. Each TV has an event displayed as if you are window shopping and watching the events happen. By the side of the TV store, there are women protesting about the ERA and holding signs. When it comes to colors, the pastel yellow wall was chosen to complement the bright red brick wall. The color palette is mostly pastel and mellow colors with a touch of bright red from the brick walls. We made sure not to be repetitive with certain colors since we already had a lot of similar colors included on our mural. The message we hoped that comes across is informational and that the 1970s was a time of moving on to a better future.